What up, Fight World? Your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. We got some special guests. Icy, you're upside down for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why that happened. That was weird.
Yeah, Batman. What's up? How you guys doing?
Good, chilling.
I'm doing good.
Good. I want to talk a little bit of
Glad.
boxing. See what's up. So let's get into it. For starters, Canelo Alvarez, they said they have narrowed down his search. We're in a pandemic, and they're saying the names like Jason Quigley or possibly John Ryder. What do you guys think of those particular fights for Canelo?
I would prefer John Ryder, honestly.
Why?
Just because I saw what he did to that one Australian kid. I think he's from Australia.
Oh, yeah,
And
Bilal
then,
Makawi.
Yeah. Canelo's sparring partner. And then Callum Smith, I really do think he beat Callum Smith. He was whooping his ass.
You watch it?
Did I watch it?
The Callum Smith one?
Hell yeah. And Ryder clearly won, in my opinion. There was a lot of moments where Smith was missing a lot more because John Ryder was moving his head. But also there was just a lot of moments where it seemed like Callum Smith don't know how to fight off the ropes. Like he would just sit on the ropes, and then Ryder would just like fire on him. Like he like tee off just constant. Like it happened more than once too. But I'd much prefer John Ryder. So Jason Quigley.
Have you ever seen him fight?
Yeah. Jason Quigley?
Yeah.
No, but he's got knocked out by Toriano Johnson. So I could look up Quigley, but I still feel like I prefer Ryder.
Okay. Gene, what do you think?
Man, it's, to be honest, I haven't, because the sun hasn't been, really good from the get-go, and the quality fighters. I kind of lost a track because there's a lot of fighters that don't caught my eye. There's not that Charlo quality, there's not quality opponent from Canelo, and I'll be honest, I don't know what those two are. I'm kind of like, little bit off track on that, and I'm being honest. There hasn't been any worthy opponent,
So you're not all the way familiar.
And frustrate.
You're not all the way familiar with those opponents.
Yeah, because it's the Sun and the old media, doing putting these fights, and Eddie Hearn's doing all this kind of stunts, and there's not an opponent that really caught my eye. That's not that quality, and I'm really lose interest. So
damn.
What? To be honest.
Now that makes sense.
And I haven't. So it's like, it's not really appealing, So, there's guys that they're coming up and all that, and I get it. But, what the Sun is doing, it's just not only killing the sport. It's just, they what you said, not making a smart decision and putting, worthy opponents to Canelo, and it's just one of those things.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was the goofiest thing. I don't understand how you.
I need to catch up more. I understand. I'm working hard. I work, 1 a.m. Sometimes they schedule me 2:45 in the morning, though that's pretty much my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just one of those things, it's hard to like I said, to find something appealing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like something worth your time, you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. It just,
I don't understand how you offer somebody.
1 second. Who is that joining us? Take your mic off.
Yeah.
Who is that? Who is this?
The Strong Will, man.
Oh, what's up, man?
That was good, bro.
Who?
Good ice.
Who's that?
You here?
How are you doing? But
yeah, Gary. What's up, Juan? What's up, Ice?
We just chilling. What's your name again? Because your username, it doesn't show up on the screen.
Yeah, it's just on numbers right now.
I ain't got the
those
Zoom
numbers.
It's Strong Will.
Where you from?
Strong Will?
Yeah.
Where you from? I hear an accent.
Okay.
I'm from Dallas.
Okay. Yeah, that's that Texas.
Okay. D-Town. What's up? Fellow
We got
Texan
2
in here.
Texans in here. Okay.
I graduated DeSoto. Me and my wife.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so you from Spencer?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was at the fight down there when he fought Mike.
All right. Well, thanks for joining the call. What do you think of Canelo's rumored options, Jason Quigley or John Ryder? His rumored opponent options.
I don't know about Quigley or Ryder.
What do you mean? You don't know who they are?
Nah.
Did you see what I'm saying? That
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah.
man,
So you don't know?
come on.
You never watched them at all?
Nah, I ain't never heard of no Quigley or Ryder.
Damn.
See, I'm not alone. At least, it's just like,
Yeah, you definitely
man,
not alone.
it's just they butchering the sport, man.
So it's not worth $20 on DAZN, or is it? What's the
No,
deal?
man, come on, man.
Yeah,
What a ripoff, bro. What a ripoff.
You already know I canceled my subscription months ago.
All right, people ask me this. They say, who should Canelo fight? So who's a good fight for Canelo?
Hey,
Demetrius Andre.
Demetrius Andre, Charlo. Those are the quality ones. That's what I want to see.
Oh, you want that Benavidez work?
Hell yeah, Benavidez, man.
All right, what do you like about? I like all y'all picks. Andre, Boo Boo Andre,
yeah, Charlo, man.
And David Benavidez.
Yeah, man.
I like all of them. Why you want David Benavidez?
So he got that range on him. If you want to move up, and what do you fight? Kovalev. Nah.
Who?
If you move to fight Kovalev, he need to fight Benavidez, man. And that looks so staged when he fought Kovalev. Yeah, if you fight Benavidez, if he could beat Benavidez, I give him props for that.
Well, okay, you said it looked staged when he fought Kovalev. Why you said that?
Yeah, just the whole drawn out process. They was waiting in the waiting room, and then, like you said, how Kovalev got knocked. It just looked staged, man.
It looks sus.
Yeah.
Hey, Icy, what you think of Canelo's last performance with Kovalev?
Oh, that was. Okay. Now, because people think whatever it's conspiracy theories and shit saying the fight was fixed or whatever. So I'll say this. He pulled Kovalev off a quick turnaround in a fight where he almost lost, and old Kovalev gave him barely any motherfucking time to rest and recover because the fight happened 11 weeks after the fight with Yard.
Yep. And
still weight drained him. And Canelo still looked bad. So he was losing in my opinion. I don't give a damn what the judges say. Some dude I remember I was going back and forth with on Twitter a while back. He was like, the judges had him up by the time of the stoppage. Now you're just lying. I was like, I forgot about that. But honestly, I don't care what the judges said because Canelo was losing. I had it 6-4 by the time the knockout came.
It's crazy because I didn't think either one of them looked great, but I think Kovalev was winning just off the jab.
I was watching Canelo versus Austin Trout earlier today, and Canelo's style, in my opinion, has deteriorated over the past few years. And it's mainly because
you said Canelo's style has deteriorated.
Yeah, because I feel like,
his body. It's been, he turned pro at the age of 15. It's been a lot of mileage, like Eagle said in one of the live streams. It took a lot of, it's been, on the road for a long time.
Yeah, but even more so than that.
No, I think that's a great
more so than that. Like,
bro, he just turned 30. And turned pro when he was 15. So that's 15 years of
he was boxing for 15 years, yeah.
Yeah, he's been boxing 15 years. That Mayweather boxed for 21, 22 years.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong.
Hold on, someone else is joining. Go ahead, Gene.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Since Canelo turned pro at the age of 15, now that he's 30, it's like equivalent to being a little bit more than that, like 38 or ish, about you know what I'm saying.
Well, when you have a bunch of wear and tear on your body, yeah, for sure. And then it's not like it's not like he's just been in, you know, because he has like how many fights can I like almost 50 at this point, if not 50.
Almost 50. Yeah.
Yeah, he had
And
when he
then
fought. Here, put it in perspective. When Canelo fought Mayweather, they only had one difference in the amount of fights they had. Like Floyd had
42 and
45,
43.
and then yeah, Floyd had 45, and then Canelo had like 44 or something like that. It was real close.
yeah, like when I say, I mean his style has deteriorated since he's gotten to 160, because Triple G is the smallest like elite 160 kind of at that level. Like Triple G's only 5'10", he's not big like that. Charlo's bigger than Triple G, Andre's bigger than Triple G, Jacobs is bigger than Triple G, and so forth, so on. Eubank Jr. is bigger than Triple G, all that shit. Since he's gotten to 160, bro, he's like he's been doing like and beyond that, like a lot of his style now is just him walking forward and throwing hard ass hooks.
I
Like
think
he'll
that's his
still
knee.
lead with, huh?
I think that's his knees. He has bad knees.
Yeah, but
So
it's like that's why I think they're being extra like careful and cautious and shit like that. Because I see him doing all this stuff in training, and I'm like, yo, this is like that's why I left that comment the other day on your video, because he was throwing shoe shine punches stuff. I'm like, Canelo does not fight like this anymore. Like, he doesn't do these kinds of things. In the Austin Trout fight, Trout was obviously the slicker of the two. But Canelo was, he was still doing some things, and he was mixing it up. He moves his head a lot. Canelo's always moved his head a lot, but his footwork has only gotten worse, in my opinion. And as far as keep going, well, say what you're gonna say.
I'm sorry. That also means that the song with Canelo doing kind of like the favoritism, like they don't want to fight certain opponent because of it. They want to make sure that Canelo, because it's the one that that makes the most
of course,
money
yeah.
now.
They don't want him to lose.
Yeah. It's a business. That. I mean, of course, it's a business, but it's more of the. I don't know how should I say, more of the money rather than the actual sport. What I'm saying.
Yeah, they're using like a strategy.
They protected him. They try to protect him.
Hey, we got a new person in, Mike from Boston. Mike, what's up? How you doing?
What up, guys?
What up?
How you doing, big dog?
We just did this is just a random one. I'm gonna try to schedule one in advance so you guys know. This is just an impromptu one. So we're talking about Canelo Alvarez and the rumored opponents for him, Jason Quigley or John Ryder. Mike, any thoughts on those opponent selections?
I mean, I don't want to see him fight either of those guys, to be honest with you. I mean, we this has been the same thing with Canelo now for. I mean, just names come up for him to fight, and they just never sound like good fights. Like John Quick. Like I don't want to see him fight those guys. I want to see him fight someone who's going to give him a real test, like give him a real fight, and not someone he's just going to knock out or stop in 3 rounds. You know what I mean?
All right, playing devil's advocate. We are in a pandemic. Is that an excuse for this type of fight because we're in a pandemic? Do you think it becomes?
I'd be fine with it if he was doing what he needed to do beforehand. Like, if Canelo this whole time was fighting people he said he wanted to fight, because remember, Canelo said he wanted to be unified for the end of 2019, and that shit didn't happen. But if he was doing what he needed to do, and then for whatever reason just decided, all right, or Golden Boy decided for whatever reason they couldn't get certain people or things couldn't be made the way then whatever. But they haven't been doing that shit, so hell no. And it's looking like Charlo might get the best fight of the year so far. So I'm not taking no excuses.
Texas, what you think? Strong will.
I said Benavidez, Andrade, and Caleb Plant, man.
Equation.
What's up?
Do you give Canelo a pass because we're in a pandemic to fight the guys you said you hadn't really heard of, Quigley and Ryder, because we're in the pandemic, the Rona?
Oh man, if everybody else gonna make the other fights happen, man, he ain't got no pass, man. So.
You said he ain't getting no pass, huh?
Nope.
That's the thing. A lot of people say like we're just hating on Canelo, it's not about the fact that he could lose is not like that does not mean we want him to necessarily lose. We just want to watch good fights. The second thing is, how the fuck are you not? Like, how are we hating on Canelo? This is the person y'all say, is the face of boxing and all this shit. If anything, he should be held to a greater standard than his peers. So, like, it's like when people say, it's like when people talk about police brutality or whatever. These motherfuckers have, they're trained, they carry weapons, whatever the hell. They're supposed to protect the people. They should be held to a greater standard of self-defense. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. Not a lesser one because they're in a position of power. That's backwards. That makes no fucking sense. Canelo's in the best position right now as far as his career, like where he's in the best possible position you could be in as a fighter right now. And people are like being easy on him. I'm like, for what? Like, what the fuck? I don't understand.
I feel like it's funny. You see a lot of people, they say Canelo's pound for pound number one. When is the last time you've seen somebody pound for pound number one fighting the likes of like Jason Quigley, who just got knocked out? Like Floyd was for the longest pound for pound number one.
No names.
They got bad when they fought Berto. So, I mean, when's the last time he fought someone coming directly off a loss? Name when Floyd fought someone coming off a loss. Berto, Mayweather, Pacquiao, like any of them fights. He was fighting people off their best wins. Shane Mosley had just knocked out Antonio Margarito, and Cotto had just avenged the first ever loss to Margarito. So people were coming off big wins and undefeated like Canelo and Ricky Hatton, and Mayweather fought them, and Canelo's up here wants to fight John Ryder off of a loss, even though he did good versus Caleb Smith.
Yeah, granted, he should have won, but that's not like, he should have won, but he didn't. Yeah. So,
and he's not living like a champion with the confidence of the belt strapped around his waist and stuff like that.
Yeah, he doesn't have the perks of being a champ.
Exactly. Mike, where you at?
I mean, I think that. Oh, sorry.
Let's go ahead.
I mean, at this point, first of all, like Canelo has basically made himself a 3-division fighter. He can fight at 175. I feel like he's left 160 behind. I know he said he wanted to be unified at one point. He clearly, has left that behind because he's with the WBC strap. He has, so that's out. So are we looking at him? I mean, I assume that we're looking at him to fight at 168, and at 168, there's a number of guys he could fight. But if he's not going to pick one of the guys that's going to give him a good fight, then I can't take a guy like him who's supposed to be pound for pound number one. He just went up to light heavyweight, knocked out Kovalev. And I understand that there's a pandemic, but there still needs to be a standard of he can't be fighting bums like anymore. If you're pound for pound number one, you can't be fighting guys that we know beforehand. You're automatically it's gonna be an easy fight and it's gonna be over. Like we need to have him fighting someone that we can at least think that maybe he might have a tough fight. Like have him fight. I mean, there's so many guys. There's so many guys that he could fight. So I mean, I can't give him a pass at all.
Damn. We got another.
Yeah, Canelo keeps doing this like Apollo Creed shit, just hitting up random people, like trying, or let me say, a Golden Boy is doing it because I'm, Canelo.
Listen, I don't know who's doing it, but like some people say, Canelo has the last say, and then everybody put your mics on mute if you're not talking, because somebody got some crazy noise.
Oh, okay.
If you're not talking, just put your mic on mute. But you have Canelo. Some people say Canelo calls the shots, and when he's not fighting or he's picking the fights, he's picking who he's choosing. And then some people say blame it on Golden Boy. But I feel like at this point, everybody's kind of complicit because everyone's going along with it.
Absolutely. All media really ruin everything. That's
New meaning. What's up? We got a new member in the. Well,
what's up, man?
He in here.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. Good to have you again.
Thank you.
It's an impromptu little group chat, and we're talking about Canelo Alvarez, John Ryder, Quigley. Those are the 2 rumored names. Good, bad. What's your thoughts on The rumor.
You know, I mean, Quigley, you know, he's up and coming. You know, he's definitely an underdog for sure. You know, I think it was 2 years ago he fought on Charlo's card, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, it's not going to sell. It's not going to sell. Point blank. Period. Like, why are we paying Canelo, you know, all this kind of money for him to fight somebody like Quigley? I mean, it's a good shot for Quigley, and if he wins, I mean, that's going to be phenomenal. But do I see him winning?
When Floyd Mayweather said hard work, easy work, you know, he said that because he made his fights look easy. Canelo's easy work is just because it's actual easy work.
That's a good point.
He's picking bums, man. Like,
why you come out like that? You sounded.
I'm just saying, man. Look, all right, look. All right, listen. All right, so Canelo. All right, look. Canelo is an A fighter, right? We can tell Canelo is a top tier A level fighter, just like Floyd, top level A level fighter. Floyd in his career has never ever picked anything less than a B- fighter, in my opinion.
That's
like,
true.
Like,
especially like people. This is what I don't understand. People said Floyd cherry picked and waited till people got old. But look at who he fought. He fought Mosley after he knocked out Margarito. He fought undefeated Canelo, who had like a 13-year youth advantage, was bigger, strong, supposed to be stronger.
Prime.
Cotto,
Prime
not at the
Canelo.
catch weight. He didn't fight Cotto at the catch weight.
Margarito, who cheated the first fight.
That's right.
Pacquiao's a legend, you know, and he had a couple comeback fights since getting knocked out by Marquez. People always like try to rewrite history, but Floyd fought some of the guys on their biggest wins or undefeated. Like Victor Ortiz had just beaten Berto. That's a big win back then. You know what I'm saying? Ricky Hatton
wasn't because I was just thinking I was just thinking the only fight I feel like later on in his career that you might be able to give him some flack for was Juan Manuel Marquez, maybe at that catch weight. And but wasn't
hold on.
Let me listen. That's what I'm saying. Let me finish. No, I'm saying, wasn't that Floyd's comeback fight? Like,
bro, he was on a 21-month layoff.
I'm about to say,
so I'm saying
he wasn't boxing. Period. He came back and dominated.
No,
he came back and dominated, bro.
That's better than what you would see from.
How many wars? Pause. How many wars has Marquez had with Pacquiao?
Y'all not listening. I'm saying that's a better choice than most people would have made for their comeback fights. That's what I'm saying. I was like, oh well, you know, he fought Marquez, but then I was like, no, that's
clean that up.
No, I see you disappointed. Listen, Marquez
I just said that was.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm gonna tell you. Marquez was the consensus best lightweight. He had nobody. He just beat Juan Diaz. There's no one else in the lightweight that was messing with Marquez at all. So he said, I'm chasing Pacquiao, and Pacquiao doesn't want to fight me in a rematch, so I'm calling Floyd out of retirement because they say he's the best. They said Pacquiao's the best with Floyd being absent and retired, so he don't want to fight me, so I'm fighting Mayweather. So Marquez was the man, and he moved up for that reason. There was no business for him at 135. He had cleaned out his division. So he could have just went to 140, but he did what Broner did, jumped up to 47 for the money fight, and he fought a guy on a 2-year layoff, basically, out of the gym in Floyd Mayweather, and got dropped, and he lost every round. That was one of Floyd's best performances. How dare you, Icy? That was one of his best.
I was gonna say that was a better choice.
Is Marquez a Hall of Famer? Yes or no?
Absolutely. What the hell? That's why I was trying
to 2-year layoff destroying him. It don't matter. Nah, bro. And did Marquez stretch Pacquiao where he needed smelling salts?
We thought he was dead.
At 147. He did that at 147. So the Floyd fight, why didn't you do that to Floyd? Because Floyd a different animal. I can't give you credit for that, Icy.
What are you talking about? I was saying that's a better choice.
When that fight came out, but go watch that again, bro.
I was a little kid. I said that was a good choice. That's a damn good choice for someone coming out of a comeback, coming off off a layoff because I know he was retired. I know that for a fact because the only reason I said that is because I started thinking about Marquez is because I remember someone was like, oh, Floyd fought him on a catch rate. I was like, that's true. But then I remembered, I was like, wait, wasn't he coming out of retirement? And, you know, he's still like, I think I remember someone or I knew that Marquez called him out first or some shit like that. So I changed my thought. I was like, well, that's still a much better choice. Like if Canelo retired for a year, he's not gonna fight no fucking. Let's say Jarrett Hurd decides to move up to 160. You know what I'm saying? Like he wouldn't do that.
Well, what does this have to do with Canelo and Quigley though? I don't get it. Or John Ryder. How did this?
We're off track now. Low key, I forgot, so I can't remember.
Well, I think it's because I brought up the fact that, you know, it's going to mess up Canelo's legacy is the point I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
You know,
like, oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Fighting people off their best wins. And then
right.
The only thing that people could possibly hate on is the Marquez fight, but that's not true. How you hate on him coming out of retirement and dominating someone you just said was a Hall of Famer?
But I was going to say, before y'all started talking, I was going to say, you can't even do that because Floyd was coming out of retirement and then all the other reasons.
But it don't matter. Like, even the catchweight. Like, even if he wasn't coming out of retirement, that's still Marquez, bro. That's still a legend.
True.
Marquez
beat
like Alvarado, and he was like 40. He knocked out Pacquiao. He was 40. And that was like a later version. So that's still a Hall of Famer. Canelo talking about Quigley and Wrigley and all this stuff. That's different. And the other thing is you can't even compare because at best Floyd and Marquez are probably similar in age. You know what I'm saying? Canelo's supposed to be in his youthful prime, talking about fighting guys off losses, and Quigley and stuff just got knocked out last year. So, you know, it's kind of hard to justify, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, you guys this guy John Ryder, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, from what I'm looking at here, he lost to Rocky Fielding in 2017.
Yeah, he lost. He lost to another. You're looking at his box rec, Mike?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, before that he lost to a domestic level dude. I don't even know the guy's name. I don't remember.
His name is
Ryder has 4 losses, doesn't he?
5.
Yeah, he lost to Jack.
That's credible. But he lost to somebody.
Jack Arnfield. Whoever the hell that is. Jack Arnfield.
Is that a golfer?
I mean, I don't know. He lost a unanimous decision to him.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, who is that? Man,
he got knocked out by Nick Blackwell, 2015.
Chris Eubank.
And that's the dude that Chris Eubank Jr. ended his career.
Yeah, he put him in a coma.
Yep.
Like the guy, you know, and I hope he's doing all right. But yeah, that's the guy. So I don't know. I just feel like they're trying to capitalize off the momentum of John Ryder arguably beating a person, but he's still not a champion. Like, Caleb Smith still has the 168. Okay, does Canelo have a real belt at 168? Let's start there. Is that a real belt? He beat Rocky Fielding.
No.
Is that a real belt?
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not.
No, hasn't beat an incredible opponent. He hasn't beat a Charlo. He hasn't fought. Come on, man. It's just
champ, man.
Back to the basic.
See, that's what I'm saying. So John Ryder lost to Caleb Smith technically, even though people disagree, but he didn't get that belt. So Caleb Smith is still the guy with the belt. So why not fight him to consolidate the belt like Pacquiao and Keith Thurman did? You see what I'm saying? Because then at least we only have one of those WBA belts at 168 if he fights Caleb Smith. So why would it be Quigley or Ryder? And if Quigley got knocked out last year by Toriano Johnson and his name was briefly mentioned, why would it be Quigley over Toriano? You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. It's like he's picking certain style, cherry picking. That's the only way you could say it. He's just picking a certain style that he prefers to showcase.
Let me say something. I'm very simplistic, you know, simple-minded, you know. I just want to see quality fights with Canelo. I understand if he's injured, he can, you know, or something happened like an accident, or he has a loss, which he doesn't has a loss, of course. Like a fighter has a loss and they have to come back, they have a tune fight or whatnot, or if they have an accident, they have a tune every now and then. But come on, man. Stop playing with the real fans. Stop playing, with the true fans of boxing. The people who wants to see, the quality fights, man. I'm simple, man. I'm sorry for being basic and simple. I want to see a quality fight with Canelo.
Facts.
Boxing should be simple though,
And
but
Charlo got a loss too, and come on, man. And I'm not criticizing Charlo for that loss. You know what I'm saying? But come on.
You're talking about Jermell though. That's the one that went before.
Okay.
Yeah. Question. This might be controversial. As of right now, like if Canelo said after this fight I'm retired, does he go down top 5 Mexican fighters?
No.
Nope.
Hell no.
Not at all.
No.
Hold on. I gotta get everybody's opinion on this. If Canelo, let's say he fights Quigley and then he just said I'm out, right? Just hypothetically. Gene, does he go down as a top 5 Mexican fighter that comes from Mexico?
No. And let me tell you, I'm Hispanic, I'm Latino, I'm Puerto Rican, and I say no. What is right is right, and what is wrong is wrong.
Hey, he going off. Gene's going off.
Hell yeah.
No. Just for the haters, because I'm stepping ahead of for the haters. I know they're gonna
get that off your chest.
Type some bullshit on the comments and all that. I'm stepping ahead, just in case. And I'm Hispanic. And I don't mean to be racist. I just right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't care.
Do we have some names we could throw out of Mexican fighters we put above him? Like, I mean, just off the top of your head.
Roberto Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.,
Marquez.
Oh hell yeah, Marquez.
That's 3 right there.
Julio Cesar
who else?
Salvador Sanchez, Marquez, Eric Morales, Marco Antonio.
Hell yeah,
I mean, that's 7 right there.
Hold on, we gotta go back in this order. Icy, is Canelo Alvarez top 5 Mexican fighters of all time? Yes or no?
Hell no. He hasn't.
What? Okay. I'm just curious of people's opinion. Go.
He has a track record of just fighting dudes that's not either at their best, have looked vulnerable, or are old. And on top of that, just beyond his opponent selection, Canelo has not showed the type of grit of his, predecessors as far as Mexican fighters, the type of, or consistently anyway, the type of, separation of other great fighters. He hasn't showed that type of shit. The type of, he hasn't showed nothing to warrant no, pound for pound #1 performances even. Like, if he went out there and beat Triple G every round in the second fight, that would be different. Or Jacobs or whatever, that'd be totally different. But every fight he's had recently has been a close fight. And he
you mean
still
every
had the
fight
same
he had against the better opposition? Because he blew out
top tier.
Yeah. That's why Yeah. Let me correct myself, because Rocky Fielding, that wasn't a close fight.
Knocked out Kovalev. You know what I'm saying? People gonna call you, so you say what it is.
Fake.
Okay,
But,
Mike, wrap your stuff up, Icy.
No, I was just gonna say, because I forgot about the Rocky Fielding shit, honestly. But I didn't have him winning the Kovalev fight. The Jacobs fight was really, really, really close. I didn't have him winning against Triple G the first time. Even the second Triple G fight was really close. I had to watch that shit 3 times before I really was like, okay, Canelo won. And then, he fought them. Yeah, a lot of, man.
Okay.
Just go to somebody else. I don't even want to get into that.
Mike from Boston.
I would say no. I mean, first of all, he's a PED. He's in proper PEDs. In my opinion, he has 3 losses. I know that they say. I mean, in my opinion, he lost to Triple G the first fight, and he lost to Lara. I mean, honestly, I can't. I watch those fights every time I have him losing. So I can't put him in the conversation if in all of his close fights he's either barely winning, like in the second Triple G fight, or he's basically losing and then just getting gift decisions. I just can't have him in that conversation with him being a PED user and cherry picking. So, no.
All right, Mike. New meaning. Is Canelo Alvarez top 5 Mexican fighter of all time?
No, I'll say no.
Sorry, no.
And I'm not going to say it's because of a loss, because in my opinion, the loss doesn't really define who you are. It's you being able to bounce back. But it's not the loss. It's the fact that you have things like the Canelo catch weights. When he's fighting people, oh, you can't hydrate above this certain weight, but I'm going to rehydrate to and be 175 the night of a fight, so I can just dominate you the entire fight. Or I'm going to fight the Amir Khans, who everyone knows ain't got no chin, you know, but you're going to go and fight this man, and he's stepping up. What, two? Was that two? No, it was like 2.5. It was a Canelo weight. It was another Canelo weight. It was like 2.5 weight classes.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what I mean? So when you're doing those types of things and you're fighting those types of opponents who we know that don't have a chance, and then when you're fighting top tier levels of competition, aka Floyd Mayweather, who dominated him, aka Lara, who really, in my opinion, won that fight, and then Triple G, who really won the first fight, that's combined with all those other things, that's taking you out of the top 5 Mexican fighters, in my opinion. Like, period.
Yeah.
Big Texas, Strong Will, what you think? Is Canelo top 5 Mexican fighter ever that you've seen?
Nah, I don't think he's top 5. Like you say, he struggled with Laura, and then he moved up in weight class without fighting the best in the division he was already in. So, I mean, with that, I think he's protecting the stardom. It's just like when anybody moves up without fighting the best in their division, like Mikey did, or like who else did it? Kilbrook, he moved up without fighting the other best. So, and then the position he's in now, he won't even fight the best where he's at right now. Like, you got to fight Charlo, Benavidez, who else? Plant. Southern. Man.
And Bevo said he'll go down to 168 or 75. Better.
Nah.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Mexican fighter of all time? Do you have one?
Nah, I would say Julio Cesar Chavez. So many fights, man. To fight for that long, that many professional fights, man. I'll put him up there.
Okay. Hey, freestyle question. Canelo at 154, prime, or Oscar De La Hoya? Who would win at 154? Prime versus prime. Canelo at 54 or Oscar De La Hoya?
Promoter. After the Floyd Mayweather fight?
No, prime. Just picture the best.
Prime before
Oscar.
Prime before
Canelo.
Mayweather.
I say Canelo.
Oh, Canelo. Yeah,
Canelo?
he's a bigger puncher.
Yeah, Canelo.
De La Hoya? I don't know.
Yep. Absolutely.
Y'all tripping in my opinion. Oscar.
De La Hoya got a chin.
Hold on.
This might have to be a to be continued, bro. Okay.
I think Oscar De La Hoya would have more technique, but eventually Canelo would have caught him with a good shot.
What?
Definitely.
Oh, okay.
Oscar got a chin.
Because this is a whole separate conversation. All right, I got one more.
Let's remember what B-Hop did.
I mean, it could be the liver, the kidney, because Canelo used to go to the body, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but did anyone else knock out Oscar with a body shot?
Bernard Hopkins.
That's what I said. I said remember B-Hop. I just said remember what B-Hop took.
Yeah, that's B-Hop though.
And that shit wasn't at 54 anyway. That was like 160.
Oh, yeah. My bad. You know,
Yeah.
okay, it's 168.
Canelo at
My
54.
bad. Yeah.
All right, here's another. I just want to get people's opinion. Canelo at 54 or Sergio Martinez at 154? Who would win that?
Sergio Martinez.
Sergio Martinez.
Sergio Martinez, hands down.
I like Canelo too, but Matavilla is kind of nice with it. That would have been
That's right.
I think he has cracks and he moves. I think that would give Canelo a lot of problems.
Well, it's hard to say though, because when we talk about Canelo at his prime, when he was at 154, I don't really feel like he was at his prime then. So it's
okay. That's
hard to say. Like, I mean, if we talk about Canelo when he was at 154, I think he might have some problems with a lot of these guys because, I mean, shit, he had trouble with Laura at 154. So I mean, Canelo's a lot better now. I mean, I give him that credit, but you know, he's also a lot bigger. So it's hard to say.
Y'all got some good takes. I'm definitely enjoying the conversation.
Oh, let me mention something. How about Sergio Martinez prime against Cotto, Sergio Martinez would have won. And I'm Puerto Rican, and I'm telling you that.
Because I thought he was going to beat him when they did fight, but his knee was.
But he was injured.
Yeah. I agree with you. And I like, but Martinez was just beat, like what he did to Kelly Pavlik and stuff. Yeah, that's interesting. What is up with Andrade? He's with DAZN. Canelo's with DAZN. Why aren't they making that fight, or no one's even mentioned it other than new media? Why do you guys think that Andrade is having such difficulty getting a Triple G, being on the same stable as Canelo, and not getting those fights?
All right,
because he can win and you probably will.
Hey, what you say, Texas? What'd you say? You said you already know.
But you already know, man.
Damn.
Favoritism.
Gotta protect Canelo, man. Gotta protect that story.
Favoritism.
Gotta protect the cash cow. As simple as that.
It is.
They know Andre got a shot too, but you know, if you got the person that's bringing in the most money and he's got the most backing of people and supporters and fan base and everything else you can think of, he's got all the people backing him with the WBC and all the other belts and everything like that. Come on, man. They're not about to let this man take that big of a risk. It's not gonna happen.
But I think that's part of the problem with boxing, because the UFC is a great example. Since they have all these fighters under their umbrella, these guys are getting respect because they're fighting the necessary people that they need to fight. You see what I'm saying?
They're also not making as much money.
Well, that's true. They're not making.
It'd be great if it was like that. It would be awesome.
But even though they're not making, some of these guys like Conor McGregor is making a lot of money for UFC. So he losing to Khabib Nurmagomedov, that sets his profile back. But they still put him in that dangerous fight. So even though they're not getting as much money as boxers, that's still a cash cow. Conor McGregor is absolutely a cash cow, and he's checking dangerous fights like Nate Diaz rematch. That was dangerous. He lost to the dude. You know what I mean? And then Nurmagomedov, if Masvidal would have won, they might have put him in there with that. These are all dangerous fights. So they're still getting the cash cow. Ronda Rousey, she came back she lost, but off the Holly Holm year layoff and fought Amanda Nunes, and she was a cash cow. And they still put her in there with it. In boxing, we're not getting that. We're getting, Canelo versus Quigley, and then we have Andrade on the same, a stablemate on the same. Like Eddie Hearn has John Ryder, Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Smith, and Andrade. So if you could work with Eddie Hearn, the promoter for these other fights, Danny Jacobs, Rocky Philly, those are all Eddie Hearn guys. So how can you work with Eddie Hearn on those fights, but you don't want to work with him for his other fighter, Andrade? And
I feel like
to Americans, and you won't put an American Olympian in there with him. It's not a good look.
I think that they have something against him for some reason, because his name doesn't even come up. Like when I saw him on live when Eddie Hearn was doing those IG lives every once in a while, he brought Andrade on for a second, and I heard Andrade talking later on, like a month later, he was like, "Oh yeah, I haven't even talked to Eddie Hearn except for that one time that he brought me on the live for a second." So,
damn.
I mean, I don't know. Like, honestly, I think that Canelo would beat Andrade in a fight. I think he would, but it may be just that Andrade's profile is so low, they don't want to risk it with him, because, like, it would be a close fight. But for some reason they leave his name out. He's not even considered, even though he's a title holder at 160 and he's undefeated. So I mean, it's strange.
I disagree with you, Mike. I think it's his style. His style is not exactly like Erislandy Lara, but they fought each other. Andrade and Lara fought in the amateurs, and they know that style is giving Canelo the most problems. So I think they don't want to put him in because he has. Like Billy Joe, who has more power, Andrade or Billy Joe Saunders?
Andrade.
Shout out to Icy.
I'd have to say Andrade, man.
And Andrade.
Yeah.
But they were about to fight a tricky mover in Billy Joe Saunders, and we all just said that. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us said Andrade has more power. So he'll deal with Billy Joe Saunders knowing he hits lighter, even though he has the movement, but Canelo could take his punch for sure. And I'm not saying Canelo couldn't take Andrade's power, but Andrade is never in bad shape. He's in shape year round. he fights different styles where he's in front of you. He throws a lot of punches. Sometimes he moves. He just does what he wants. So I think they
That's
know
another thing.
it's just going to be
Billy Joe Saunders has looked like shit since he's moved to 168.
He got like 2 fights anyway. That's what I'm saying. I think it's the style. To me, honest, Canelo, he hails from Mexico, but I think he has more of an American style. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell he's learned little stuff from Floyd here and there, and he has more of an American style. And then you would be putting him in with an American style in Andrade or Charlo, and that's what I think they know that style is going to be more of a clash to Canelo's style. And these guys are bigger and athletic and have better foot movement versus European fighters. I'm not trying to stereotype, but some of the European fighters or Eastern European fighters that he's choosing are more flat-footed, you know, and they're gonna cut like Kovalev. When have you ever seen him get on his toes and like move?
He's a straight puncher. That's all he does. There's no angles with Kovalev.
Yeah, he
One
Kovalev
dimension.
doesn't throw like crazy hooks and uppercuts and he like Roy Jones type stuff. He doesn't move his feet and get out of the way. You know what I'm saying? But Andrade has a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? Charlo.
I'll give Kovalev some credit for being able to fight off the back foot, but it's nothing like
no fight off the back foot versus lateral.
Outstanding.
Yeah, like he can't do nothing like Andrade or none of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Or like Lada, he can't move like, you know. Hold on, someone's trying to jump. Oh no, we got something.
Definitely nobody moving like Laura right now.
It
Yo,
seems like no.
Who just joined? Who is that?
It says his audio is still connecting.
Oh, my bad. I think it's a stylistic thing. They know those styles are kind of closer to what Canelo does, but they're more athletic than Canelo. Andre's more athletic. Charlo's more. See, me and you were just talking about the Charlo situation. A lot of people mistakenly think that Jermall Charlo is like straight up and down, like almost like a brawler.
Flat-footed, yeah, bro.
I was at his fight with Brandon Adams. He got skill. He was fighting off the ropes.
I was there too.
Tell him about Charlo. Do you think Charlo is a straight up and down, or has he got more tools than he gets credit for?
Hell no. I think as far as I think he absolutely has more tools than he gets credit for. Because I've watched several Charlo fights more than once. I watched the Cornball fight like 4 times. I watched the Brandon Adams fight at least 3 times. I'm talking about like all the way straight, all the way through. You know, I've always looked at clips and stuff, but straight all the way through, I've watched several of his fights more than once. Jermall is a very underrated counterpuncher. He does not get credit for his counterpunching.
Dropped
Austin
the counterpunch.
Exactly.
When he knocked him, the shot that really set up the knockout, wasn't that a counterpunch?
Yeah, because J-Rock kept overextending his right hand. So when J-Rock threw a 1-2, he overextended his right hand. He stayed there a little too long, basically. Charlo came under it, came up with the uppercut. But Austin Trout said that Charlo.
I was just gonna say that was like one of the craziest counter uppercuts in boxing.
That's the greatest counter right uppercut of all time, bro.
Rock shit crazy. Now that looked too savage, bro. I watched that like 1,000 times.
But Trout even said Charlo's a good counter puncher in an interview once. Trout does think that Charlo could beat Canelo, and he's fought both of them. But
he fought both Charlos and Canelo.
Yeah, he fought all 3 of them dudes. Okay. But there's that. Charlo's jab, of course, is crazy. He can fight off the back foot. Like people always this shit. Like they'll say, "Oh, Charlo can't fight off the back foot." He fought off the back foot against Brandon Adams. He was throwing hooks and uppercuts. I was listening to a video today. A dude said, "I don't think Charlo can compete with Daravanchenko on the inside. He needs to just, pile on the pressure from the outside." I'm like, that's bullshit. Because
absolutely.
That's the next topic. Save that thought. Daniel Mason. What's up? How you doing?
What's popping with the population, man?
Oh man, we just chilling. We were talking about the rumored options for Canelo. Jason Quigley, John Ryder. What are your thoughts?
You know my thoughts.
How you gonna shake your head? How you gonna shake your head?
First of all, let me get this right. New media bars is something they got to deal with.
Yeah, Daniel Mason. Okay, so you're not really a fan of that?
Those are Canelo's supposed to be the top of the sport. At the top of the sport, you're supposed to be fighting the best of the best. You can say whatever you want about Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Mike Tyson. When they were at their peak, Roy Jones Jr., they sought out their opponents. They didn't go fight. I don't care if COVID's going on right now. Even before the COVID, he was trying to fight bums.
Thank you.
Tomato cans.
We said it. We said it. We said it.
He's happy with it.
Okay.
You know, the thing about Canelo is he seems complacent. He's happy where he is if you don't want to challenge yourself.
In the comfort zone.
He got a taste of that Mayweather slickness, that good lateral movement. He don't want to see that no more. Lower game a little bit of it. He knows Charlo got a little bit more power on the other end, and Charlo got good lateral move. He'll slip and slide, and he'll touch Canelo. If Danny Jacobs can touch Canelo and Triple G can touch Canelo, Charlo can touch Canelo. So he's fighting bums. He's fighting bums because he don't want to get tested. He want to keep his status. That nigga's a pop star.
Okay.
Hey, he called it though.
Damn, Daniel Mason who came through angry with it.
No,
that nigga's a pop star.
He's great. You want to see him do it, but he just don't want it. It's like you can't delegate initiative. You can't make a dude want to be great. You can want it for him all you want, but he don't want it. You can see it in his eye. He's happy fighting Murata in Japan. Like, for real?
Yeah, that's crazy. But see, the thing that's crazy is it's like when Floyd was the number one cash cow and earner, some of these same fans said they hated Floyd and
he's picking his opponents.
Yeah. And then now they say, oh, Canelo learned from Floyd and they happy with picks like this. I'm like, weren't you the same dude or girl or whatever that said all this stuff about
selective outrage? Selective outrage.
Tell him.
But we already know. We already know why that's happening. Now, come on.
Yes, we do.
Come on. All I got. Come on. We already know. Y'all can look at the screen. Hold on.
Yeah, but that's just crazy because you see the fake in the old media narratives. You know what I'm saying?
Look at this. They said Mayweather was a boxer. He's born. And he's not good. But then Deontay Wilder comes knocking everybody out, and now he's untrained. He's not a good boxer. It's like you can't. It's damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Facts. Or there'll be somebody that come like Usyk. I didn't think Usyk looked that good in the Chaz Taylor.
Bro.
Yeah.
Usyk gonna get knocked out, bro. Well, listen. One top tier fighter, he's done. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Let him get in the ring with a Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua. Like, come on, man. Like, he's done.
Wait, what mind state is Anthony Joshua in though?
Yeah, I do have questions about that too because I didn't think Joshua looked too hot, but
it looked like he ran for his life.
Damn, Daniel Mason.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't even pick Usyk over somebody like Chris Arreola, to be real with you.
Damn.
He did all that. I wouldn't pick Anthony Joshua. I wouldn't pick Anthony Joshua over Chris Arreola. He get touched one time, you're gonna get PTSD and running for his life.
No, I still pick AJ over Chris.
Because look at the way Ruiz touched him just one time, and he just was like, nope.
He did look kind of even in the rematch.
But check it out. This is what I'll say though. Ruiz, when he came in there and he fought against AJ, his hand speed was probably the quickest that AJ has actually ever seen. With the power, the quickness and the power. He really hasn't. Who else has he fought that actually has that speed? Hand speed. I'm not talking about like I'm talking about like movement speed. I'm talking about hand speed. Like he just hasn't. So,
but even in the second fight, when he looked like a tub of lard, he still got touched in like the 5th or 6th round, and he still went into defense mode. He just started dancing around. I'm like,
yeah. Anytime AJ exchanged with Ruiz in the second fight, AJ was on the losing end of the exchanges.
You look at Dillian White rocked him. Like he'll stand there, he'll get hit. That's why I say I would pick a Chris Arreola over AJ because he'll get touched.
See, I really analyze this boxing stuff, and this I know this is gonna sound weird, but I look at little clues and stuff, and I don't like how when AJ's pressure, he don't be cutting his hair, like you know what I'm saying, like. No, I really look at that. I really like
Scruff McGuff.
He shut the functions down. He's like, that's not essential function. We gotta shut that down.
Yeah, but he came to the Povetkin fight and he came to the Ruiz 2 fight with like no taper, and I was like, damn. Like,
Povetkin was hitting him with some shit too.
Yeah, his nose was bleeding.
Yeah.
I feel like he had like, to me, that look at that as kind of like a weakness, because I understand getting in the Rocky Balboa, Adrian, getting in your gruff, scruffy mode. But I look at that as Joshua is like trying to. You ever known someone that try to convince themselves of something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's trying to hypnotize himself.
Trying to hype himself up. And I think that's why he's not there. Like he's trying to hype himself up for the moment.
Yeah, and I know that not to get off subject, but look at that crap show going on with DAZN. Look how they're promoting their people. Like he was supposed to be the face of boxing, fighting at the O2 Arena, and now look what he is. He's down to doing nothing. Can't call out Deontay Wilder because he knows he's still a sucker for a right hand, and he's trying to call out Tyson Fury with all his might because he knows he won't go out. Like it's just a crap show over there.
To be honest, I ain't even heard no one even really talk about AJ like that.
After that Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, where's he been? Yeah. Like, where the fuck has AJ been?
Yeah, well, he made the comments about Black Lives Matter.
Point.
Old media was like, "Oh, hold on, wait, we don't want no parts of that. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, we step back."
What we signed up for?
Right,
I haven't heard.
Yeah.
Who ducked?
I haven't heard from
AJ or Deontay Wilder. Who ducked the smoke when they were both undefeated?
AJ.
Come on, bro. AJ was ducking. Oh, give me 50 mil. If you give me 50 mil, then we could do the fight. And then, come on, man. Everybody knows AJ duck, even his fans. Yeah, man. Don't get me started with that.
What do y'all think of Eddie Hearn having to fight in the road, like in the middle of the street or whatever?
Eddie Hearn will do any. Eddie Hearn's an attention whore. Like it seems like that's what he is.
He only cares about money.
Yeah.
He don't care about the sport. He don't care about the sport at all.
Didn't his dad say? Didn't Barry Hearn say something about you have to say yeah, we have to respect him now? With black fighters, they don't care. They just monopolize.
Oh, the slave trader.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it used to be. Now it's Mr.
Yeah,
Fuck out of here, man.
It's evident. You ain't got to tell me with your words. I see it with their actions.
Mm.
How many times Dillian White turned on him?
I don't even know.
Remember, he's like, I'm not doing that. He is scared. I saw the money, Eddie. Wilder sent the money. You just didn't have it. He said it to his face in an interview on camera. Like, I saw the money. I know that Deontay Wilder sent the money. I won't so much.
I remember when fucking, what's his name? Oh, shit.
What are your thoughts on Povetkin versus Dillian White? Is that a good fight?
What's that dude's name?
Yeah. Say two B-class steroid-taking characters.
I was about to say, are they on the stuff or are they off the stuff? That's the question.
Decent.
All right, I gotta ask y'all. This is the grand finale. I've been waiting. I actually talked about this. Charlo versus Daravanchenko. To me, that's like the silver lining. Like these pandemic bouts, there hasn't been like anything kind of finalized that's like really cracking. But they said that this could be getting finalized. It's not official yet, but that really sparked my interest and made me raise my antennas. Sergey Daravanchenko coming off the Golovkin performance. Charlo's still undefeated. He's a WBC champion. Is that a good fight? Yes or no? And why?
Yes.
That's a great fight.
Yeah.
What Charlo shows up.
Is that a dangerous fight?
Yes. It's a dangerous fight for Charlo because Charlo, if Daravanchenko can tank power and he can return fire. But Charlo got good lateral movement. It depends on if Charlo wants to be slick or if Charlo wants to hit him. It just depends.
To win?
I got to go with Charlo.
No, I got to go with Charlo.
Because
I'm picking Charlo by stoppage.
Yeah, Triple G's more of a
station. Really? You can stop him?
I think he can stop Derby.
I think he'll stop.
I believe that.
I might pick Daravanchenko to win that fight.
The reason I say that, that's fine, bro. It's a close fight.
You know what the great thing?
This is a very good fight.
True boxing because that's a mark of a good fight. You know, when you don't know who to pick. I have the utmost respect for Daravanchenko, so I'm not mad.
Hell yeah, he's a bad motherfucker.
I thought he beat Triple G.
I thought he won. I was about to say I thought he beat Triple G.
I don't think it's.
I thought he beat him.
Bro, hold on. I got a quick story about that. Because Ego, I was going hard in the lives leading up to that fight. I kept telling people, I said I'm picking Daravanchenko. People was like saying bullshit. There's a bunch of Triple G fanboys. What's up?
I couldn't hear your sound. Go.
Oh no, I was saying leading up to that fight, I remember being in the lives and a bunch of Triple G fanboys were saying, "Oh, Triple G's gonna knock this motherfucker out," and all this bullshit. I'm like, y'all are tripping. I was like, I'm picking Daravanchenko. I'm telling you, like, I know it. Like, it's not gonna be what y'all think. And then I didn't get to watch it live because I was at the movies with my pops. But I come out the theater and I get an ESPN notification. Oh, Triple G retains title against Daravanchenko. I was like, oh, what the fuck? So thinking nothing of it, I was just like, damn. I was like, Derby lost. And then I see that you went live and that shit said robbery. I was like, off ego saying it, that it's gotta be, it's gotta be legit.
I thought he really beat Triple G. Like Abel Sanchez and Triple G both famously said that Triple G's never been knocked down in sparring. He's never been hurt, but he was hurting that motherfucker.
Yeah,
Right.
Because the referee.
I went back and watched it the next it was some days later. Bro, Triple G got his ass beat. It wasn't close like these niggas.
Even that Triple G knockdown, Triple G didn't even knock him down. He hit him on the top of the head. I was like, that was
that wasn't a legit knockdown.
That's kind of crazy. The other thing is,
to mention.
Oh, my bad, Gene. Go.
No, it's okay. Not to mention that Daniel Jacob exposed Triple G as well.
Yeah,
I agree. I was at that fight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think Jacobs beat him too, but I think Daravanchenko actually beat Triple G better than Canelo and Jacobs.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, but he got.
But yeah, Jacobs was the first to really.
Yeah.
Well, Kell Brook did a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He was like popping Triple G's head up, and then Jacobs was the one that went the distance and really made that statement by going the distance and breaking that knockout streak. And then Canelo kind of jumped in. And see, that's kind of what I resent about Canelo too, is like the fact that it looks like he waits for someone else to create the opening in the gate, like peek your head in and go through and then show the coast is clear. Because before Brook and Danny Jacobs, they couldn't get the Canelo Triple G fight done.
Yeah, he vacated his belt. He vacated this shit.
Does everybody else?
I got to get to Mike from Boston because everybody said Daravanchenko. Mike from Boston. I mean, everybody said Charlo. He's picking Daravanchenko.
I'm picking Daravanchenko just because, based on what I've seen from him, obviously I haven't seen Charlo fight the same level of competition that Daravanchenko's fought. I think it's going to be a very close fight, and Charlo's best chance is going to be to catch him coming in, because Daravanchenko's going to come in, and Charlo's got the reach advantage. He's a good deal taller, so he needs to be ready, because the guy's going to come in, and I haven't seen Charlo against competition at that level, and I just thought that Daravanchenko looked really good against Triple G. I mean, he looked, and Triple G still, I think putting a performance like that against Triple G is it makes a statement. So I've seen more from him than I've seen from Charlo. So that's why I pick him.
That's fair. I think Charlo. I'm gonna get to you in 1 second. Who was that? New meaning?
Yeah.
My thing with this is I would pick Charlo to stop Daravanchenko, and I think people in boxing, they look too much at certain things as clues, like because Charlo fought another guy from like Eastern Europe in Matt Korobov, and they're like, oh, that was a tough fight, so they're looking at the Daravanchenko fight and saying, like, oh, another rugged, aggressive guy. But you have to understand is like Korobov was a late replacement because Willie Monroe failed a drug test. So there's only so much I could use that as a measuring stick, because he didn't really prepare for that specific person. If he had a full
Charlo's mind was kind of fucked up because he had seen his brother lose.
Korobov fights a different style completely than Daravanchenko.
Totally different style, and he's a southpaw. Charlo has showed. What's up?
No, I was saying, and his brother had just lost for the first time and kind of, wasn't undefeated.
I don't take that fight into consideration when I'm talking about Daravanchenko, because I think they're completely different style matchups. So I don't even.
I'm just saying, like, from what I've seen from other people, not you specifically.
Like people try to compare and shit like that.
People on the internet and like in comment forums and stuff, they've said like, oh, but he struggled with Korobov. And the real thing is, I think the Charlo struggle. I was at that fight in New York. And I think the whole Charlo struggle with Korobov is overstated. All things considered, his brother just lost. He had 1 week to train for, you know what I'm saying? And you're really not even training because you don't want to get injured. so you might just be doing light shakeout. So he didn't even really prepare for Korobov, and he almost stopped Korobov in the final round. So
and he out jabbed the shit out of him. Like
Korobov is a good fighter too, man. He's good. He beat him.
Korobov fought all the people like Triple G's and stuff in the amateurs. He was beating up Andy Lee too, until Andy Lee caught him.
I heard about that.
But I got to get to New Meaning. He had something to add. I hope you saved your thought.
Oh, no, he actually took thoughts on my head. The fact that he lost, mental capacity in the late minute replacement. So
hold on, Icy.
That was it. You already said what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I wanted to finish what I was saying from earlier.
Okay.
Charlo's underrated skills. A very good counterpuncher. You exchange with Charlo, you're gonna get knocked out. Like some of his best knockouts comes from exchanges. J-Rock, he hurt Korobov. He didn't knock him out, but he hurt him off of an exchange. He hurt Brandon Adams twice off of an exchange. Who else? Dennis Hogan, when he knocked him down the first time, that was off of an exchange with that uppercut.
Didn't he do
who else? Yeah, he did like he flipped like Sonic.
Roly poly. He like did a somersault or something like crazy.
Yeah, so Charlo knows how to fight. Like he knows how to fight in when punches are coming back at him. He doesn't freeze up like fucking Triple G does and start backing up and shit a lot of times. He will throw punches with you. Who else? Or what else?
I want to jump in. I'm gonna jump in right here. I don't want to give too much away in case I do a 7 reasons. It's a great fight. Shout out to Daravanchenko and Charlo if they can get it done. But I think another thing that people have to understand with the Charlo Daravanchenko is he's a lot more athletic and speedier than Triple G. Like Daravanchenko looked great against Triple G, but Triple G is slow as fuck to me.
He's a blotter.
And he doesn't have the athletic ability. When have you ever seen Triple G throw a counter uppercut like Charlo?
You haven't.
Knock a J-Rock type of person out with a counter uppercut.
No.
So he's not even doing that arsenal of movement. So I think Charlo's going to catch Daravanchenko.
I was just thinking, I don't think I've seen Triple G even use an uppercut like super effective.
He don't really do hooks and stuff like that. So I think Daravanchenko, if the fight happens, he's going to get walked into something. But Charlo he can't get too overzealous and, do too much because Daravanchenko is not the one because he's battle cuts and he just keeps coming. But I think
Charlo also has a lot of success with fighters that are around 5'9", 5'8", whatever, that are orthodox guys. Cornelius Bundridge, Dennis Hogan, Brandon Adams. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, Derby's style is, I think it will give him some issue, but I don't think it'll be too long before he figures it out and can find the opportunity to put him away.
Honestly, let me jump in, Icy. The thing I was going to say is Charlo, his last couple of fights, I think he's fought really awkward guys and movers and stuff like that. Daravanchenko
I told you that. Give me my credit.
Bro, you don't have to tell me. So I think he's prepared. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Take like guys who aren't at the Daravanchenko level and practice your skill set and stuff like that.
Go to your game.
Dennis Hogan he's actually, I think he can do some cool fights at 154. Like he wasn't trash to me. Like he
beat Jaime Munguia straight up.
Oh yeah. And he was moving a lot and he was trying different things. Same thing with Brandon Adams. These guys are like crafty and tricky. So it's like
I would like to see that actually. Hogan versus Adams, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Bro, even Hurd with the defensive lapses he has, I think if he fought Brandon Adams or Dennis Hogan, he would have problems with their movement because he's not as quick as Charlo and stuff like that. So
that would be
Hurd is a slow starter too, man. Hurd starts so slow.
That was good.
He is a slow starter.
I think Charlo's schedule.
Daravanchenko he's a dirty fighter too. You have to remember he's going to be all up in Charlo's shit with the head. I mean, he's a tough dude, man. That's the problem I see. I don't know.
You're saying like he's real rugged, is what you mean?
He's rugged, and he did it in the Triple G fight. He did it in the Dan Jacobs fight. I mean, he's not an easy guy to stop. Like, you know what I mean?
I think I'm not gonna say he's easy to stop, but I think the guys, the name guys that he really fought, because he got hurt in the Jack Kukalay fight. You guys got to watch that one. But he was hurt by it.
He's gotten hurt by all three dudes. All three of his last fights: Jacobs, Kukalay, and Triple G. And for the people that say, "Oh, well, Jacobs didn't knock him out, so Charlo was probably not gonna knock him out," these motherfuckers sparred with each other for like years, right? So didn't they they would probably know how to neutralize and fight against their best qualities. You know what I mean? Like people were giving Jacobs shit for that fight. I was like, this motherfucker has shared the ring with him for I don't know how long now. It's not the easiest thing to just fight your sparring partner in a professional boxing match, and then no matter how much time you guys spent apart, you're probably gonna revert to the things that you know. So neither one of them. I mean, Derby surprised people because we never seen him like that. 9 times out of 10, Jacobs, we've seen what he can do, but like when people are like, "Oh, he didn't look right" or whatever, fuck, I'm like, know each other, like they've sparred, like they were gym mates. Like it's not the same shit. You can't hold that to the same standard as oh, Daravanchenko is like just this guy that came out of nowhere. No, that's not. You can't put that that label on that fight because Jacobs, like they knew each other. It didn't make any sense. So like I wouldn't say that Charlo can't stop him because Jacobs didn't stop him.
I mean,
these motherfuckers are not trained.
It's great that we can even have a fight to have this type of conversation about, because that's how good of a fight this is going to be. Like, the only fight that we can even talk about like this right now.
That's true. Like, because like when it comes to Canelo Quigley, nobody's really thinking Quigley is the one. See, the other thing I got to get back on the Canelo Quigley thing. The other thing I don't like when Canelo is fighting necessarily guys that like no hoper guys is he's too damn hard to beat on judges' scorecards. You know what I'm saying? Like
facts.
There's been so many where the scorecards were crazy. I thought Amir Khan beating him the first 4 rounds easy, and then it didn't matter because he got knocked out. But 2 of the 3 judges said Canelo was blowing him out the water, and I'm like, what fight was that?
Floyd Mayweather was
conspiracy. It's like a conspiracy there, man. Like,
and then the Floyd fight, one judge, C.J. Ross, had a draw. So I'm like, how the hell did you? Floyd won arguably every round. I think he won.
Right.
And I'm like, how did he get a draw? So if guys like fights like that are getting draw, what you got to do to beat Canelo? You got to knock him out.
You got to knock him out.
You got to bring a bat with
it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Triple G beat Canelo the first fight. So it's like, what else? He was the champ. He was so it's like
won that first.
There's some kind of favoritism there. I don't know how they they do that for so long and he gets away with that. I just
yeah, I feel you. So I just feel like when it's somebody we feel is not supposed to be in there, how the hell are they gonna look good enough to impress the judges when bigger names like Amir Khan, Triple G, Floyd Mayweather all had Edison Lada, all had tricky score, Austin Trout, they all had scoring with Canelo, where they had Canelo winning by like a landslide. So it's just gonna be an uphill battle unless
that's what happens when you put 300 million dominantly.
What'd you say?
That's what happens when you put 300 million into a guy.
That's true. So is DAZN are they in trouble? Like, are y'all buying?
Man, they about to sell, bro. DAZN about to
give it time. They'll be out of business.
Yo,
are you feeling any of the fights that they announced?
Not really.
Bum fight 4. Bum fights 4.
Oh wow!
I'd rather watch a bum fights 4 than fucking DAZN.
Yeah.
Bum fights is at least fun.
Street fight better,
He said them.
Yeah, man.
Where's my nigga Kimbo Slice? Rest in peace. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm sad because they be talking about people that you don't know and they act like you're an idiot because you don't know. You don't know who Tori Kelly is? Like, no, nobody knows who Tori Kelly is, man. And they be like, oh, well, he's fighting for them. Charlo's avoiding him. Like, no, it's not how it goes. Like, Dillian White came out of nowhere. They were like, he's this and that. And Wilder's been avoiding him for 700 days straight. Meanwhile, nobody's fought Luis Ortiz in such a long time. They actually signed Ortiz to avoid him. Like, he was on the same promotional as Anthony Joshua, and nobody said nothing about that. It got quiet.
I did, but yeah, you're right. Old media then.
Yeah, you did. You
They
did
they
say
didn't
so.
say nothing. Yeah, they were putting Luis.
I don't. Yeah, I don't try to solicit. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I rather, like we were talking about those fights. I rather see the. I don't want to try to solicit, but the Mickey House. You seen on YouTube. They put that fight. What is it called? Mickey House. Oh man, I forgot. They
Mickey
have a
Mouse
fight.
Clubhouse.
Yeah, man. I rather
Yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah, that is more entertaining, man. Come on.
I got you.
Yeah,
All right, I'm not gonna solicit again. Just
y'all crazy. Anybody take
Something.
us out?
Oh, can I say anything? All right, I'm gonna say this, and I want to know how many of y'all agree or disagree. Because I said this to Ego yesterday. I do think Charlo will have a hard time with Derby, but I'm still sticking to my guns. I still think he's gonna stop Derby, and I love Derby. He should be champ right now. But in my opinion, Chris Eubank Jr. is a more dangerous fight than Derby and Chisora.
No, nope.
What?
And I'm gonna tell you why. You ready? And here's I'm gonna tell you why. All right, Chris
We got
Eubanks
battle.
Jr. All right, look. The reason why he's not a dangerous fight is because this man overtrains, and that's his problem. That's always been his problem. He overtrains. He stays in the gym too damn much. He stays sparring people too damn much, and by the time he comes to do the fight, like not his last fight, his previous one before that, oh, Chris Eubanks Jr. And then he comes out as, I think I might have been in the gym a little bit too much. It's the same thing that happens every single time. So no, Chris Eubanks Jr.
What
No,
are you talking about? Because he destroyed
no,
James DeGale.
no. I'm not talking about DeGale. DeGale wasn't this. Who did he fight before DeGale?
Some dude, some guy, some Australian guy on the undercard of Groves and Callum
And he
Smith. But
almost
he
lost.
stopped that guy.
He
Nah,
almost
the
lost.
dude quit. That's not what
It
happened.
was fourth round. Fourth round,
Fourth round, the guy quit.
bro.
Chris dropped him. And then the
I'm gonna
guy
have to
quit,
go.
said
See,
there was
now
a problem with his shoulder.
I'm gonna have to go back on YouTube.
I've never heard that
Hold
as a
on.
reason.
Hold
Chris
on.
always
I'm gonna have to go
expressed
back
to
on. I'm
me.
gonna have to go back on YouTube. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm about to grab my laptop.
They going
JJ
quick.
McDonough. That's his name. JJ McDonough on the undercard of Groves Smith.
Y'all might be talking about different fights. I'm not sure. I'm just letting y'all hash it out. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. This is the first time I've ever heard something like this. I've heard people say Chris has not fought the caliber opposition. He's not as good a boxer. I've heard shit like that.
I like Chris Eubank, but he was getting touched up by Korobov, and then he got it threw his arm out. So I don't know. I don't know what Chris Eubank.
That was the first round.
Yeah, but he was still getting touched up in the first round, and then the fight.
He was touching Korobov to the body with a jab, though, and I never seen him
Come
do
on,
that
bro.
before.
Come on. He got touched.
He was getting touched up by that
He
left.
was touching Korobov to the body with a jab. Though. I never seen that from Chris.
It's the hill he gonna die on right now. This the hill he gonna die on.
Bro, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You tripping, Icy. Like he was getting Korobov looking like Pacquiao with that straight leg. Nah, I don't know, bro. But anyway, I can't say that because Daravanchenko has like my man Mike from Boston said, he has the Golovkin performance. That was super impressive. Chris Eubank, I like him, but I haven't seen him fight somebody who's supposed to be like a Golovkin and put up that type of tour de force performance.
His gas tank, his volume punching, his slickness when he uses it. He's bigger than Chenko.
That's a great fight. Canelo and Chris Eubank.
That is dope, actually.
The other thing is Canelo, his gas tank. Chris Eubank got a gas tank, but Canelo's gas tank is like in the 5th, 6th round, he'd be like,
yeah, everybody sees that too.
Yeah, so that's another reason I think they don't want to fight the likes of Andrade and Charlo because name a fight Jamal Charlo got tired. He went 12 with Korobov and hurt him in the 12th. So name a Jamal Charlo fight. See, people be sleeping on Charlo's skill. Name a fight where he looked like his stamina was way bad. Jamal Charlo. He got J-Rock out of there kind of late. Korobov got hurt in the 12. Who's he? Brandon Adams went 12. Who's he? His stamina looked good.
Yeah, I've never questioned his stamina really, like I do with Canelo. It always seems like he's taking rounds off.
Yeah, definitely.
it looked bad in the Jacobs fight. I was like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah, because he looked like a different fighter in the second half. Almost.
When Errol Spence even said something, I knew I wasn't crazy. I was like, yo, what the hell? Because even against Kovalev,
My bad. Here you go. My bad. I had to come back and look. Groves.
He lost to Groves though, but he got outboxed by Groves.
That was the same fight that he said at the interview. He was like, "Oh, I think I was in the gym too much and I was sparring too much." That same excuse that he never corrects.
But I don't think he was serious about that. I mean, okay. Will I say Chris might go overboard? Yes, because after that fight, as soon as that fight was over, he literally, because I follow him on Instagram, I watched the fight that day that it happened, and later on that night, this motherfucker posted a video of him hitting Mitch with his, like, I guess a trainer or something. I was like, yo, you gotta chill. And I guess his dad talked to him or something after that.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of that being a problem outside of that. Like, Chris doesn't seem to me like he, like, because, okay, so if y'all don't know, I boxed in LA, right? I know Justin Fortune personally, I train at his gym. He has told me that, like, as far as Manny Pacquiao's training camps go, like, they have to tell Manny Pacquiao to stop. Like, for the most part, because you're not going to teach Manny anything new at this point. Their main job at this point, I mean, aside from just getting him ready and just monitoring what he's doing, is, like, to tell him when he's okay to stop. Because if not, Manny will just keep going.
That's
Chris
different.
doesn't seem like
Pacquiao's 40-something. So, of course, you got
but it's
put a plug on him.
To me, though, it doesn't seem like Chris, like, I've never seen him.
What's his best win?
Eubank Jr.'s best win?
Are you repeating the question?
Probably DeGale.
DeGale was like, Badu Jack really ruined him. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he fucked.
No, DeGale had no teeth after Badu Jack fought him. He had no teeth at the end of it.
All right. Who else?
And DeGale lost to Caleb Truax, and then he arguably lost again in the rematch. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's the best win. So I had to see more. I like Eubank, he cool. I like his, his demeanor and his dad and shit, but I had to see more, bro. Before you put him on the Daravanchenko.
He arguably beat Billy Joe Saunders.
That's arguably, and that was like in 200.
5-6 years ago. Yeah.
All right, Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell. Thoughts? Is that a good fight? Can he win? Who
That's a good fight, but is Golden Boy going to allow it? Like, there's so much politics. It ain't been announced yet.
I ain't said nothing about that. Icy.
It's sad when you're a fighter, when a fighter is at odds with their promoter because they want to step up in competition. I don't like the fact that Ryan has, not necessarily put forward some of the effort he could have towards certain guys. But if he wants to fight Luke Campbell or Jorge Linares, then what the fuck is the holdup, honestly?
Who was that? Rolly? Who do you want him to fight?
Oh, hell yeah. Rolly, Devin Haney.
Yeah, Rolly?
Rolly.
Absolutely.
Rolly's my friend, so I'm going to go with Rolly 100%. But,
man,
you know what I'm saying?
Rolly's to fuck that boy up, man. Rolly's got that power, yo. He might Rollies might get outboxed for a little bit. He catch him one time though. It's a done deal. We ain't ever seen Ryan's chin get tested. Period.
Rollies like he's kind of like a 135 like better Bieb almost, like a little bit.
He got cracks.
Because hell yeah.
What'd y'all think of Tank and Ryan Garcia?
Tank stops him.
Yeah.
Tank stops him easy.
Davis is some beast.
And I say the same thing for Haney too. Haney stops him easy.
A beast.
Anytime someone brings up Tank, I start laughing about the Ivan Redcash.
What'd y'all think of the Tank Ivan Redcash?
Tank was fucking that dude up, yo. For real.
I want to see all that.
That shit was so funny to me. Oh man.
Dude, why didn't he show up for the next day of sparring though?
Holy fuck.
I don't know. They were talking about different times. I don't know what happened with that.
I mean, I thought it was kind of. I don't like the idea of people releasing footage from sparring. I mean, boxers just don't do that. Like releasing like a clip, a short 30-second clip when you're beating up. I mean, and sparring is not for sparring is for preparing. Like, you never know what the person is sparring for. They could be trying a new technique. Like, so just releasing a clip of you getting the better of a guy. I mean, that's sucker shit. Like,
I gotta agree with you on that one. That's what sparring is for, and that's why a lot of times you would never see Floyd ever get to spar. He kept all his stuff on lockdown. Everybody get out the gym, the whole nine. And I agree with you on that. However, it does not change that the clip was still released.
And
it
that
doesn't
shit
change
is
that the clip
funny,
was released.
bro.
Like real talk.
That man said, "Do it to him."
I'm just giving y'all my
really do it to him.
I'm gonna give you my opinion the new media way. Me, I think my thing is this: whatever your beliefs are, if you keep it consistent, then I ain't got no problem with that. Like I know Andre Ward. I know he would probably be on the same tip. Like he's very private in his gym, stuff like that. But he's gonna be consistent. He's gonna say, Shakur, don't release your sparring, across the board. The problem I have is Tank in the Ivan Redcash, that the clip leaked or whatever, and everyone seemed to be angry, like, oh, you guys let this leak, it's unprofessional, that's not cool. But Conor McGregor, when he was fighting Paulie Malignaggi in sparring, that was like a video, and everybody was like, and the way Conor McGregor did it was even worse because it was like pictures. So we didn't even know what at first, remember? It was just pictures of Conor McGregor, and then Paulie's just on the ground. So I'm like, what happened? And he wasn't even releasing 30 seconds of work. It was just like pictures. And it was looking like Paulie was getting destroyed. So I'm like, what the hell?
I thought
Paulie with his hands, McGregor with his hands behind his back and whatnot.
Yeah,
like, yo, like, did he really get the best of this man? Like, yo.
For the McGregor Mayweather. So I'm like, damn, is Conor just out here like destroying people? And
in that situation, though, Paulie did ask for them to release the entire all the footage, and they never did it.
You old media, bro. You clouding the message.
Because Paulie never said that.
But bro,
yeah, he did say it. Yeah, he said it, but that's not the point.
It's not the point that he said it. He said that after Conor leaked the picture, it was already too late. So he said,
"Nah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why it was fucked up."
Yeah, but
Paulie told him.
The point I'm making is the initial inception was Conor just put out pictures. That's it. And then Paulie Malignaggi said, don't just put out these weak ass pictures, release the whole tape. So what you said has nothing to do with the point I'm making, because if Conor didn't just drop them photos, then Paulie would have never said leak the whole tape. And even when Paulie said leak out the whole tape, Conor still didn't leak the whole tape, and he still just made it look like he released like 10 seconds where Paulie allegedly got knocked down or something. So my thing is just keep your rule consistent. In old media, we know they don't do that. If you don't like it and you don't like it always, then, to each his own. But I see like Tank was getting a lot of heat for it. But there's a lot of – Conor McGregor also did it with Chris Van Heerden. And it had a clip that was edited, and it made him look like he was sweet, and it was just a highlight of him punching. You see what I'm saying? But then when Tank does it, people are like, oh, I hate Tank. And why do you do that?
I feel like the consensus on both occasions was it was some sucker shit for Conor and for, just anytime anyone does it, just from what I hear, at least, and what I feel like it's just not the right move. Like in both cases, I thought it was stupid to do that. It's just like, I don't know why you would do that.
That's cool. I can respect it if it's a consistent rule. But like me, I'm not better than anyone. So I understand the brotherhood and, you trying to work on stuff. So it's kind of embarrassing. But me, I don't care as much, because then I'll be hypocritical, because I enjoy watching Rolly and Ryan Garcia league sparring. So it's like, how can I watch it and rejoice and be like, "Ooh, this is good sparring," and then the next minute I'm like, "Nah, don't leak." You know what I'm saying? So
it's like the doghouse sparring. When you see Floyd and you see the cast, I'm like, yo.
Yeah, I'll be watching all
going
of them.
In. He's getting his ass whooped, yo. Like,
I remember there was
one look like.
One with my guy Jay Leon and Darrell, and it was crazy.
Oh my God.
Yep. I watched all of them, so I don't know how they're coming out or who's recording it, but I do watch them.
I don't think the problem is like if the people there, if the people that, and like both sides are okay with it coming out, that's one thing. But I feel like the problem is if you're going to use it to try to make someone else look bad, then it's a problem. And if you see secretly, like, you know, someone in the gym like had their phone and recorded it. They're trying to do it on that. Like if it's just for like entertainment purposes to see two guys spar, okay. But if you're trying to put another fighter down the way that Conor did to Paulie, and what it kind of seems like Tank is doing, I don't like that idea when you're kind of doing it like on the sneak tip, like putting out a clip here and there.
So nine times out of 10, the person that's getting the best of them is not going to have a problem with it leaking. It's the person that got their ass beat. Those ones are gonna have a problem. Nah, why you released that? Hold on, wait a minute. And then if it's the other way around, I mean, it got leaked. It is what it is. But
I agree. It's a slippery slope depending on who you ask. But my thing is just to be consistent. Daniel Mason, take us out of here. It's the last. What's the last topic you get to pick? Because you came late. What's the last topic you want to talk about? I want to get everyone's opinion on to wrap this up.
How about
anything in boxing?
Y'all not gonna like this. How about like double standards for promoters? Like when Al Heyman do something, but then Bob Arum do something that's the best thing in the world, or like when they were going to, you know, TV like Fox and all those stations, they were trying to sue them. They were doing everything they could to stop it, but then they turned around with the ESPN and they opened their own zone. They cornered the market. It seems like they sue him and then they bite his blueprint. And then everybody says he's scared to let his fighters off the leash, but they're making the best fights. Like, I don't understand. Promoters shouldn't get in the way. We love the sport of boxing, but it seems to be a double standard when it comes to Al Heyman, Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, and Tyson Fury's promoter. It's like,
hey, can I start off?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. I'm gonna just say raw, man. It's because he's black. Point blank. Period, man.
That is
racism in racism in the world, racism in America. You know, whether people fail or want to believe it or not, you know, that shit exists. I think lately, you know, especially since the death of George Floyd, you know, things are starting to be more put out in the open, and people's eyes are starting to be awakened. And you know, some people are starting to see the light. But you know, does it exist? That's the reason. Those are the reasons why it exists.
I agree. The thing I noticed is when PBC first came out, you've seen a lot of like old media, mainstream media. They seem like targeting Al Heyman and Premier Boxing Champs. Like, this is bound to fail. They said Waddell and Reed, they want their money back, and
he's paying them too much money. How can he afford to pay his fighters this much?
Yeah.
Like,
how you gonna say they paying too much money, but then Canelo getting $36.5 million on DAZN to fight Boogaloo Jenkins or whoever, Jason.
And then when you bring that up, they're
or
gonna
Triple
say,
G getting 15. Yeah, 15 to fight Steve Rose.
These are the points I'm making.
Yeah, it's a strong point, because we all see it. Like, that's the reality of the double standards that they tried to pass. You know, you know what the funny thing is? If you look at PBC when they first came out, all the negative articles that were written by mainstream media, it actually applies to DAZN more than it did Premier Boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, overspending, crazy business model. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really applied. Like, why would you give Triple G 15 mil to fight Steve Rose? And then
DAZN actually can't afford to pay Canelo what they're supposed to, because he's taking a pay cut right now.
Yeah, and the thing, to be honest, is like it's like the changing of the guard. We're in a market where Ryan Garcia, he might tap in with a different audience, and based on that, you gotta compensate him. You know what I'm saying? Even though he hasn't fought the names that we all need to see him fight, he's entered a lane. You know what I mean? And then just answer this. How could Triple G get $15 million for Steve Rose on DAZN and not promote the fight like a showman? Like, he's not doing any training videos. You don't even hear from Triple G. He don't
That's a lot of money,
postcards or nothing. And he ain't doing nothing extra for the promotion, but getting $15 million to fight an unknown name. Why can't Ryan Garcia get more than $200,000 to fight a no name? And he's at least tapping into that market of YouTube sensation, you know, messing with the Jake and the Logan Pauls and all these YouTubers and weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. You have to adjust with the times, I feel.
That's a great point. When they going to address them emails? How about that?
yeah, right. You seen the one dude run up on him.
Oh, yeah, that was out of pocket.
Let me owe these
Yeah.
$5. He was like,
Yeah.
yo, well, we need
Racial
this last
slurs.
one. We need answers. Like,
Mhm.
yo, bro, y'all see Michael Jordan daddy running up on somebody in Home Depot?
Are you talking about the warehouse when he went up to the dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny. He was like, he was all like, dude.
He's like, we're cool, we're
Fake.
brothers. He's like, nah,
Yeah,
Fred,
yeah.
nah, we ain't.
Yeah, got
He was
scared.
like, we need answers.
Got
He said, you need to
confronted.
call this person. He said, you need to call this person. He was like, I already called him. I'm talking to you. I was like, oh,
He's
that gonna go good.
about to get gully. Yo, he's about to get gully, yo.
A lot of wood around me. I was like, there's a lot of tools in here.
To wrap this up, I ultimately think kind of boxing is just a microcosm of what's going on in the world. So you see like all these Karens and stuff, and like I think people are just more than ever with this pandemic, we just know what we want, what we'll accept, what we're not willing to accept. You know, things are documented differently with the presence of like social media and phones and stuff. So like fights like Jason Quigley and Canelo, you have an outlet to voice your opinion if you love it or you hate it. You know what I'm saying? So I think promoters got to keep up with the times and just give the fans more of what they want. I'm not expecting crazy fight after crazy fight after crazy fight with no breaks. You know, that's not a realistic thing. But I feel like you look at some of the top stars. Has Joshua fought the people you wanted to see him fight? Even the Andy Ruiz fight was kind of a fluke. Like it was a great fight, but it wasn't supposed to be a great fight, you know, on paper. I wanted to see Joshua Luis Ortiz. I think that would be a good fight. You know what I'm saying?
I think Ortiz sweeps him.
So same thing with Canelo. How many of his fights on the zone do you feel have been what you wanted? Kovalev?
One.
Yeah, Jake, that was probably the only one. How many?
That's it.
His own fight. Camille says Meta, Steve Rose. You know, these. I don't know. I just feel like people are just being more vocal. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for your time. We definitely got.
Thanks to you. Good to be here, man.
Ego.
Yes.
I just need to do. Can you do me one favor? I need you to do the Arnold, bro.
Oh, I can't even do it, bro.
Yeah, what are you doing? Get in the chopper.
Yeah, what are you doing? Y'all try to end it on some crazy shit. No, but
get in the chopper.
Yeah, get to the chopper. What are you doing?
Dylan, no.
You son of a. No, I appreciate y'all. This was super impromptu, so I'll schedule out so you guys can plan. We're just having fun with these, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. People watch the replay. Anyone have any closing thoughts or anything?
Yeah, I do. New media bars is something they got to deal with.
Bars.
Thanks.
Bars. New meaning?
Yeah, man. You know,
I'm happy to be here. First time that I get to meet Ego. Everybody here. I mean, you know, I work hard at FedEx. You know, I barely got time to enjoy myself with this pandemic. Everything's closed when I'm off. You know, and yeah, it's just a little about me. I came here 14 years ago, and I live in Florida. I came from Puerto Rico 14 years ago. I live in Bradenton, Florida, and yeah, that's pretty much.
Appreciate you. Thanks, Gene.
Yeah, man.
Austin, you good?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good, man. You know, just thanks for having us as always. You know, keep doing your thing, man. Keep talking about these gloves that don't nobody want to talk about.
Man, I was gonna bring that up. I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna bring that up, but we're gonna do that. Save that for another one because I've already put a little long.
Yeah, I would love to hear that. Yes.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. But I'm gonna wrap this one up. Texas, you good? Hopefully you still there. You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
All right, man.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah. So thanks everybody, and that's a wrap. So
all right, Icy.
This will be up later.
All right, y'all.
All right, Icy.
Y'all take care.
Salud.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.